Leading off with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'd invite you to join us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll now observe a moment of silence. Thank you. Our core purpose is success for all students. Our core goal is that at least 90% of students pass language, arts, English, and mathematics on state assessments. Our core values: under character, we will continue to be an institution guided by ethical strength. For students, we will continue to put students first in our priorities and our decision-making. For service, we will continue to be an organization known for its servant spirit and stewardship. My screen ate it.
We will continue to embody the qualities of stewardship.
Thank you for the assist.
You're welcome.
Your voice sounds different.
Yeah, nice improvement, right? 1.5, comments from the patrons, and nobody has signed up to address one of our agenda items.
Adjustments. Do you want to do adjustments? Dr. Hall?
Oh, I'm not going to let you.
It's my time to shine. It's the one thing I have
Okay,
to do
all right.
every year.
Dr. Hall, do you have any
There are no
adjustments to the
adjustments.
agenda? Going to be one of those nights. Tonight's a great night for a celebration, and sometimes celebrations also cause frowns and everything else, because we've got some super educators and staff that is going to be retiring this year. You'll love it, but our kids will miss you. So at this point in time, Mr. Candiano, would you like to start?
Sure. No jokes. I do want you to know that Dr. Hall called me the other day, because I've not done this before, and he said that the board members really appreciate jokes. But I'm not going to do that, because I promised you, even though it may cost me in the long run, I'm not going to tell any jokes.
Maybe put on probation.
I've also been told I can't cry. I don't know where that came from. But anyways, I'm one of those frown people. Mrs. Laudig's taught at East Elementary for 37 years in the same classroom. I'm not sure that'll ever happen again, or as maybe happened in any of our other buildings. I'm not sure. Some of you would know better than that. But when she told me she was going to retire, I think about monthly, I asked her, is there anything I can do to keep you here? And I think that's the greatest compliment that you can give someone, because she's fantastic. I did not offer to give her a parking spot back. I thought of that the other day. When I first went to East Elementary, she let me know that I took her parking spot. I didn't mean to. I just parked somewhere, and she said, "You're in my spot," and then it messed all kinds of things up. But Mr. Sims is not here today. He's got some baseball games, kids playing baseball and stuff. But we just want to express our gratitude to Mrs. Laudig. So if you'd come up here very quickly. Pardon me?
I tried quickly.
Okay, thank you. We're going to so miss Mrs. Laudig at East Elementary. She's a fantastic teacher. She really embodies the things that Charlie and I are looking for at East Elementary. She really has high standards for her students, which I hope you know how much we appreciate that. We really appreciate that. She wants the best for her students, and it's fantastic to watch the growth that her students have. Her class is filled with rigor, and that's not easy when you go from first grade to second grade, so it's really a neat thing for us to have been able to watch those students grow, and she's the person person that's led that. I think the greatest compliment that Charlie and I were talking today, the greatest compliment that we can give Mrs. Laudig is, we didn't have the opportunity to have our children in your class, but we sure would have liked to have. If we were in that situation, I would have called the principal and asked if one of my kids or all three of my kids could have been in Mrs. Laudig's class. So we're going to greatly miss you. We're really, really happy, but we're going to miss you because you have done a fantastic job, and you should be very proud of yourself because you've done a fantastic job. Thank you. Congratulations.
Great job, Shane. Way to go. Welcome to the club. Congratulations. Ms. Chestnut, yes.
School board members and patrons, teachers, many of you I've worked with over the years. I can't believe you're retiring before me. But you are. Anyway, Julie, I've worked with Julie for a while, since I've been at the middle school. I recall the day that Mr. Joyce said to me that we needed to get Julie Jackson to be our cafeteria manager at the new middle school, and she was reluctant. I don't know what he did to twist her arm to do it, but he did, and I am thankful that he did. She has actually done a marvelous job, and it will be a difficult position to replace. So I'm trying not to get emotional over it because we work very good together, and she's very flexible. And even when I bring her something like, how about all of us eating together on the last day of school, your last year here? She paused. We can figure that out, she said, and I knew she was not thrilled about that. But we're going to figure it out. We have figured it out. It's going to be really cool. But anyway, so I have a poem about Julie. It's called Ode to Julie. In the heart of our school, where the halls hum with learning, where students are bustling and young minds are yearning, there's a beacon of warmth in our daily routine, a haven of comfort where smiles can be seen. Oh, Julie, dear Julie, with grace you command the hearts of our lunches, the soul of our land, with laughter that brightens the dullest of days and kindness that spreads in the gentlest ways. From the sunrise till noon, you're steadfast, you're true. No matter the challenges, there's little to do. The sizzle and simmer, the clatter and cheer, the nourishing meals made with love sincere. Each morning you greet us with joy and delight, ensuring our bellies are filled just right. You know every face, every name, every need, with a memory sharp and a heart full of speed. Your wisdom is seasoned in every bite, a sprinkle of patience, a dash of insight. You fed not just bodies, but spirits and minds, creating a refuge where each student finds. So here's to you, Julie, our culinary queen. Your dedication, your love are vividly seen. In every lunch hour, in every small chat, in every warm welcome, in every shared laugh. We honor your service, your passion, your art, for you've nourished our bodies and strengthened our hearts. A hero unsung in the grandest of ways, we thank you, dear Julie, for brightening our days. We'll miss you, Julie. Turn it over.
Julie's so loved, we had to both speak on her. Hi, everyone. I'm Amanda Warwick, the Director of Nutrition Services here at South Madison. Tonight, we're celebrating Julie and her retirement after 29 years of service. Anyone who knows Julie loves Julie. I've had the privilege of working alongside Julie for about 1.5 years, and in just that amount of time, I've witnessed Julie's dedication, dependability, kindness, and the way she's able to be a calm in the storm. Not everyone realizes all the work that goes on behind the scenes of a school cafeteria. From ordering, inventory, payroll, production records, preparing meals, temperature checks, managing staff, and serving our sweet angels each day. 29 years is definitely something to be proud of. Lindsay Hill, the previous director, had these words to share about Julie. Julie assumed the manager role as the new Pendleton Heights Middle School was being built. She was a major asset to the project and ever since. Her kitchen has always felt happy and at peace, and the students feel that. What does Julie's team say about her? They say she's the best boss. They say she has always treated them like family. She even opened her home to them for Christmas parties. She's remained calm when they mistakenly served queso instead of Alfredo sauce and threw them boiling the macaroni and cheese over. She even laughed when the delivery driver gave her cabbage instead of lettuce, but told her it's okay, it's free. Julie, it's been a pleasure working with you. Now it's time for you and John to relax, garden, go antiquing, travel, and enjoy time with your family. Best wishes for a long and happy retirement from everyone here at South Madison. You earned it.
Good evening, I'm Sean Rose. I'm the principal at the high school, and tonight we're here to honor a teacher in the English department, Miss Chris Lawrence. Obviously, I want to say thank you for your dedication to South Madison Community School Corporation, all the lives that you've touched, both knowingly and unknowingly. They say that teaching is sometimes a thankless job, but I disagree with that statement. So there are many students that come to show their gratitude on a daily basis, and some that return years later just to say thank you. Those who return later often didn't realize the life lessons that you were teaching them at the time. Whether it be through English content or just life lessons in general, I'm sure these lessons that you have taught many students did not show their true value until they faced some type of adversity in their life and had to reflect. I'm confident that Mrs. Lawrence is one of those educators. The students that reflect back on this and later in life, her valuable lessons full of grammatical excellence, voracious vocabulary, are sometimes overshadowed because of the valuable life lessons she teaches through her actions. One of those life lessons that I've learned from Chris is her actions that are simple gestures of making somebody feel special. I noticed early in my PHHS career, Chris would be wandering around the building in the mornings delivering stickers. I asked Mrs. Kane one morning, who was the attendance secretary, what's she doing? And she said she found out that she was keeping track of everybody's birthday, which is very special. Sometimes it's the simplest gestures that make a lasting impression. I knew that Chris's gesture said more about her as a person than an educator. Thank you for your continued support, your lasting impressions, and commitment to South Madison Community School Corporation. Congratulations on your retirement, and we wish you the best in all of your future endeavors. There is a top 10 list, but I'm going to wait to read that at our building. But I want you to tell one story. Nope, I want you to come up here because I want you to tell one story to this crowd. Please tell them about the chocolate syrup bottle.
The what?
Chocolate syrup bottle.
I don't remember the chocolate syrup bottle.
Drinking water.
Oh!
Yes, that's the one.
Well, I needed to drink more water, and I was being cheap and didn't want to really purchase a new water bottle. So my husband and I, we like that chocolate syrup Hershey stuff. So I cleaned one out, and I would carry it around with me, and the kids would freak out because here I go, chug, chug, chug. I'm just chugging the chocolate syrup. I didn't remember this at all. And they're, what is she doing? Well, I'm having some water, honey. Well, one day, I had brought in a real chocolate syrup bottle to show them, you know, see, this is the real one, and this is oh, I accidentally picked up the real one, and it was not so fun. But, you know,
This is one. That's the story.
that's the story.
Congratulations, Chris.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, I'm Melissa Hagerman. I'm the principal at Pendleton. Person that I'd like to recognize is Miss Vicki Masterson. She is our speech and language pathologist. Vicki spent her last few years with South Madison as the speech and language pathologist. She worked with preschool, K through 2, and the essential skills classes. Every year, her caseload could change depending on the needs of the students. She was originally hired by the special ed co-op in Greenfield. Prior to that, Vicki worked for Newcastle Community Schools and worked with all disabilities from K through 12. She also worked 1 year in a hospital setting where she did pediatric speech therapy and dabbled in swallow studies. Vicki has a son in Portland, Oregon, and a daughter in Fishers. She has 3 grandchildren. And if you talk to her, you'll learn all about her grandchildren. Vicki stated that she will miss the students and the challenges of meeting their individual needs, whatever those might be. And she loved working with the special needs class and staff. She always appreciated the parents who came back later and talked about the difference that she made in their child's lives. Miss Vicki, as the kids always call her, I don't think they know her last name, it's always Miss Vicki, will be missed, and we appreciate all the work that she's poured into our students, and we wish her the best in her retirement.
Congratulations. Thank you. Great job. Thank you. Way to go.
Congratulations, 41 years. That's amazing. Congratulations.
All right, my next person, she's been with South Madison for 31 years. She was an assistant for 3.5 years, and that's back in the day when you had to have a teaching license to be an assistant. Jill then got hired by Mr. Keller and worked as a half-day kindergarten teacher for 3 years. And then she taught 1 year of first grade and 5 years of second grade, and then the remainder of her teaching career was in kindergarten all day. Jill has worked for 5 principals and several assistant principals. I think she said I was her favorite.
Probably.
Sorry.
Right here.
Right. Jill has been married 40 years to Randy and has 2 sons and a daughter. Jill said she would retire when she had her first grandchild. She's getting ready to have her first grandchild. I get to say that now. Yes. Anyway, we're since we are celebrating Jill's retirement, I think we can say that congratulations for almost being a grandma anytime. Pendleton is a very special place for Jill. She graduated from Pendleton, Randy graduated from Pendleton, and all 3 of her kids graduated from Pendleton. She is hoping her new grandbaby will also graduate from Pendleton. I'm trying to help you, Jill, because her words are, Pendleton is the best school on the planet. When Jill was asked what her favorite memory of teaching was, she said the kindergarten Christmas program. And she also said she might be the only kindergarten teacher to say that. She loves having all of the kids together and seeing the funny things the kids do, and then seeing them get nervous and excited on the day of the performance. One of Jill's colleagues said that Jill was her mentor when she first started teaching, which led to them becoming good friends. She is a fantastic teacher, mom, and friend to all. She will be missed, but I wish her the best of luck in her retirement. The sparkle you see in Jill's eyes when she is reading a book to children proves how much she has loved what she's done over the last several years. We wish you the best, Jill, and we cannot wait for you to enjoy that new grandbaby. Congratulations.
my sixth grade English teacher.
Now you're in trouble. Dad, gummit. Remember, I started teaching when I was 16.
I know, you were a baby. You were a baby.
That hurts.
I can't, absolutely not.
Congratulations again.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sad part of it is he's not the oldest one here.
All right, my next person is Cindy Huffman. Has been with South Madison for 31 years. Cindy started off as a substitute teacher, and her first subbing job, ironically, was for Mr. Bill Hutton.
And we all done that.
Yeah, it's funny. After Cindy subbed for 2 years, she worked as an instructional assistant for 13 years. And during this time, again, this was when an assistant had to have a teaching license as well. And while she was doing that, she went ahead and got her master's degree as well. Cindy got her degree, and later she was hired by Mr. Hutton, who at that time was a first-year principal. Ironically, Cindy's retiring with a first-year principal. We had a lot of connections here. Cindy has 2 sons and 2 daughter-in-laws, and she also has 4 grandsons. Cindy said that during her final evaluation that she wasn't sure what retirement would look like for her. Her husband has recently passed away, and she just wasn't sure what it would look like when she came home. And I said, I always have work for you, Cindy. You can come back anytime. And she said, no, that's not what I was thinking about. A few days later, she came into my office, and she said, I have a secret. Selfishly, I was hoping she would say she was coming back, but she said that she's going to be a grandma again. So, yeah, now she has something to do. Yeah. One of Cindy's favorite things about teaching is watching the faces of her students when they get it. She said she loved to see the light bulb come on and excitement in the students felt about their accomplishment. She also finds it funny that former students remember her cute sneeze. I don't know if you can demonstrate that or not. Yeah. One of Cindy's coworkers said that Cindy is kind, loving, and goes with the flow. She is welcoming to all and will help out where she can. She works hard for her students and always holds them to a high expectation. She's organized and always has her materials ready to go days and weeks in advance. Cindy is truly one of a kind. Cindy's thoughtfulness will be missed by the staff. She is known to give you a card or for no particular reason, and she is always happy to share a recipe or a wonderful memory with you. Her periodic emails to the office stating she will be out to lunch will even be missed. We wish you the best of luck, Cindy, and you can now be out for lunch. Yeah, full time.
I've had a lot of students from their kids. Thank you.
Dr. Hall?
Thank you, President Hutton. I'd just like to congratulate all of our honorees tonight and their families and guests that have come. It's always a privilege and something I look forward to each year is to listen to the impact that you've had on our students. Tonight's 6 guests, I'm sure none of you were keeping track of this, but they total 189 years of service in the field of education to our kids. And so that's not something that's replaceable. It's not something that we can replicate. You know, we'll have new employees next year, and they'll be in your rooms, but it's not going to be the same. And because you walk out with the impact that you've made and the institutional knowledge that you've contributed to us. So I just want to congratulate you and let you know you'll be missed.
Board members, anyone want to say anything?
Well, just thank you for all you've done.
And I agree. Thank you guys for your service. Seriously, it's
amazing.
amazing. And Jill, you beat me to retirement. How that happen?
I'd just say there's so many children who won't get to be taught by you and will miss everything that you would have taught them. So.
Jill, here comes the payback. You better worry or keep your eye on Pendleton Chatter, because I still have that picture of you being a cheerleader in the middle school and yes.
I don't get on Pendleton Chatter.
And wearing, she had knee socks, and they were green and yellow.
Yes.
And about that wide going around them, and they were very flattering, but, so, I'll think about it before doing something like that.
Chatter away, I'll never know.
We are losing a lot of good experience, and when we ignore the fact that every day everybody learns, and lifelong learners, that has to be modeled for them. And I think all of these people that we've honored tonight exhibit lifelong learning, and we thank you for that. And at this time, I'm going to pause the meeting. We have some cake. I'm sure you want to get some pictures and some other kinds of things. You can duck out if you want to, or come back for our work session. So we'll take about a 10-minute break. And the cake's out in the hallway, I believe. Or at least if it isn't, it should be.
It's in your chair.
Yeah, it's from last year, right after Caitlin got married.
3 pounds walking by.
Yeah. Good deal.
I need to have you look this way once in a while, too. I have something I need to say.
Well, I started this way, and I looked at mine.
Yes, and you never came back.
I didn't think there for a minute that he was going to say anything, so.
Yeah.
I was supposed to fist bump you, wasn't I? I blew it.
That was his assistant for the first year that year.
I promise.
Hey, Dr. Miller. My reading program, I'll win the Thursday mornings I go down, and so I always feel like, so I take them down. The girls I don't, at East doesn't have that program. Maple Ridge does it, and Pendleton does. So I do it Thursday morning at Pendleton, and Friday morning at Maple.
So we're talking about reading with kids?
Yeah, reading buddies. Yeah. Chris Wilson runs the one at Pendleton. I don't know.
Lana may not have got it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lana acted retired report.
Oh, yeah, to do that. Well, I know she talked to me. We only had about 3 or 4 people doing it at Maple. You know, Pendleton has the best. I mean, Chris has a whole bunch of former teachers in there. And, you know, and she has several ladies, and I mean, she does it during the summer.
In every building, you it'll
Is it-
walk
yeah.
around.
Exactly.
I mean, your closest environment is
Jill?
well, yes, if you count her as Maple. Heidi. I don't know where April would be in that.
They're the same age. They were roommates in college. April,
Are Heidi and April? I don't know that.
freshman year at Purdue. Yeah, then Heidi left and came back and went to AU. And April stayed there and graduated from Purdue.
That's
Probably. Yeah. Yeah. They had good sixth grade parties tonight. It was great.
okay.
update, Dr. Hall.
Thank you, President Hutton. I just wanted to give the board a update on our projection for enrollment for next year. And so you can stop me at any point and ask any questions. This is very similar to the ones I've done in the past, but this is these are the projected numbers for next year. So I'll start with the high school. So what we are projecting next year is at the start of the year, we're expecting about 1,380 students. If you look at how they break out over the grades, and in this chart, and I've also broken out over with non-resident students as well. One thing that is interesting is you can see that the junior class is a small one coming through there, but the rest of them are pretty consistent. So we're pretty consistent across the board, non-resident students as well. So this next slide, anybody have any questions about that one? The next slide, what this shows is our building capacity. So what I did is I put the 1,380 at the top is what we're expecting next year. So that would make our building, we would open up at 86% capacity. If we did not have the non-resident students, our building would be opening up at 76% capacity. And then the next line, the 24-25 forecast, that comes from the demographic forecast that we had done. If you look, he's still really accurate in his projection. So he had predicted us to be at 1,406, which actually is probably closer to where we'll be because we'll probably pick up some new students. So he had us at 1,406, and then he had at the year 31, 32, which is how far it went out, he had us at 1,447. So we're really hanging in right where he said we were going to be when he predicted that 2 years ago. He's actually incredibly accurate. I'll show you here in a minute how close he was. And then you can see I put in there just for a reference, the largest class that we ever had was 1,457 in the building. So we're a long ways from that. So the high school, that's where we anticipate next year based on current enrollment moving up. So the middle school is this first slide. We're expecting a total of 712 in the fall. 615 of those would be resident students and 97 would be non-residents. We've been, the middle school, because it's only 2 grades, it seems to fluctuate them more than the other ones because one big class can really make a difference. But next year, we're looking at opening at 712, which is actually on the lower end of where we've been in recent years. So if you look at how they're laid out, so you're at 712 with a capacity of 900, so they'd open at 79%. If we didn't have the non-residents, we'd be opening at 68%. We were predicted to be at 703, and it looks like we're going to be at 712. So again, he was really, really pretty close on his projection. And with a 31, 32 forecast at 742. The most kids we've ever had at the middle school at any time was 785, and that was back in 2013. That's why the biggest one of the high school was 2 years later, 2015, because those big groups moved up. So does anybody have any questions about those? All right, going to East Elementary. East Elementary, we're expecting to be around 710. That's 555 residents, 155 non-residents. As we all know, that's where the majority of our non-resident elementary students are at. The kindergarten numbers, one of the things I wanted to point out is last year we had a really small kindergarten class of 89, and we thought that was going to bounce back, but it really didn't. So it's only, we came up a little bit, but not as much as we expected because we thought maybe it would grow, but we are currently, we'll pick up some more because we haven't got every kid that might be coming to kindergarten. This is based on roundup numbers and the ones we know. But we're 96 right now. But if you look at that, those 2 classes are our 2 smallest classes we have at East, and they are our kindergarten and first grade. So that obviously only, microphone's on and off. That only shows that we're not trending in a way that we're going to continue to have growth in. So, anybody have any questions about that? Maybe we can get a new mic. I think mine died. So,
All right. You have said before, I think in our meeting yesterday, you're talking like kindergarten could vary by 10, 15% possibly?
we're expecting about 10% more
Okay.
based on past.
For all kindergarten,
Yeah.
not just East?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we expect we get somewhere between 10 and 15% don't come through Roundup, and they may show up closer to the start of school, that historically. But we also did a better job, I think, this year of advertising Roundup. Did a couple things different, so we'll see, but we're trying to keep track of that. So we may have gotten more at the start than we've got in the past. We'll just have to wait and see how many come in. So if you look at East, the enrollment we're expecting is 710, and we've got the capacity out there at 850, so we'll be at 84%. Without the non-residents, we'd be at 67%. We were predicted to be 741, and we're looking to be at 710, but some of that is our own doing because we have gone down to 4 sections of kindergarten out there, and so that could be some of that. And I had talked to you before that we're trying to move that building to 4 sections in each grade if we can. So that could be the reason why he missed it by about 30 there. But the forecast in 31, 32 is 803. So the largest we ever had out there was in 2015. That was 816 kids. So, and at Maple Ridge, that is where we're looking to open at 7. Right now at 837. So 783 residents, 54 non-residents. If you look, those numbers are, the one I want to point out to you is 5th grade is really outlier. And so that enrollment we expect will come down in 2 years because there aren't any other classes any grades out there that are that high. So they have 147 predicted to be in 5th grade. That class has been kind of a problem for us all the way through. And we've had to continue to adjust teachers all the way through because it's for whatever reason, there's just a lot of kids in that grade. So, but you look at and I've pointed this out before, 6th grade out there only has 98 kids, and so that really probably has to do with birth dates and when the child was born and how that came up with the cutoff. And so it looks like we had a bunch miss the cutoff and that 1 year and got put back into 5th grade. So, and then if you look at Maple Ridge, they're obviously the one with the tightest percentages. That's where our growth's at. And so if we open at 837, that would open us up at 93%. We would, if we didn't have the non-residents, we'd still be at 87%. And then the forecast for 24-25 was 834, so we were only off by 3, which is incredible to me that he was that close. And that the forecast 31-32 is 889. So we are definitely getting up to the upper limits out there, and that's why we've been talking about some of the things we may have to do to try to alleviate that population out there. One thing we did do with staffing, or that we're looking at with staffing, is some of these retirees that we recognize tonight. Those positions may not get filled in their current buildings, and those positions may show back up at Maple Ridge because that's where the growth is, and that way, because we're as a whole district, we're not really seeing an increase in student enrollment, but we are seeing an increase in one certain building. And then if you do it at that time, you're not really moving a teacher from a building, you're just hiring a teacher to replace the other one in a different building. So it's a natural time to do that. So that's kind of what we're moving towards in that direction. So you can see in 2009, the biggest enrollment at Maple Ridge was 885. So we're still about 50 kids away from that. But as we all know, there are housing additions that are scheduled to come out there. So, and then Pendleton Elementary, this one's the trickiest one for me to show you because it's got pre-K in it. So the numbers at the end don't include the pre-K. I just show you that they're there, so you know they're there because some of those are walk-in speech, some of those are kids that are only there for a few minutes. So, but I just always have to remind people they do have 104 extra kids coming in and out of that building at different times. So if you look at theirs, they're slated to be 869 when they open. Obviously, they're the biggest elementary, but they have by far the most room. So if you look, their non-residents are incredibly consistent. I think across the grades, they're all right in the same ballpark. So if you look at their building capacity, they actually have 1,200 because you got to remember that's 2 buildings, and so they're at 1,200. They're going to open probably around 869, so 72%. Take out the non-residents, they'd be at 62%. So that's That's, as I've pointed out before, that's where our where our classrooms are, majority of our empty elementary classrooms. They were forecasted at 801, and he has missed that since day one. He's been low. That's the place where he missed it. And he's missed it pretty consistently by about 40 or 50. So, but that part has been consistent. I think the one thing he did not anticipate, he could not predict non-residents. He also couldn't predict how many in-district transfers. We have several in-district transfers that go to Pendleton. They choose to go there for a variety of reasons. A lot of our staff members' kids go there because they work in town, and so they bring their kids in there. So there is a disproportional number, I think, of in-district transfers that go to Pendleton that could account for that. So, at one point, 2010, we had 1,118 kids there. So, across those two properties. And then, just to give you the district total, and this is what I was talking about a minute ago, so our total enrollment, we would expect to be about 4,500 next year. So that makes 83% of our building capacity. If we didn't have non-residents, we would be running just a little over 70%. And then we were forecasted to be 4,485, so we're under that by a good bit. And then the forecast for 31-32 is 4,701. So we still have room to grow with that. We still have room. It's just a matter of where the kids are at, what buildings are at. We're not anticipating a huge influx of enrollment next year. Right now, we're not anticipating a huge need to hire new teachers right now. I think we're going to have an increase, I think, of, when I looked at that 4,508, that's 40 kids over last year. So we're not really, and then what I was getting at is I think that's 23 kids that he was off for the whole district. When you look at when you compare his projection for 24, 25 compared to what it really is, I think he's only off 23. So that is pretty incredible in my opinion. So anyways, that is the enrollment summary with that. Does anybody have questions with that? And then we had shown you the map the other day, and we did not have the secondary schools in it, so I thought that was interesting. You had asked me about the high school and middle school. So the other thing we added to the map as we're evolving, if you look, the yellow lines, we put the district map on it now, so you can see where our boundaries are compared to where everybody's at. So I don't know why I keep zooming up like that, but if you look, a bunch of our, you can see the number of people to the north that are outside of our boundaries. So the yellow is our boundary. If you, same thing, if you want to look at any specific neighborhoods, I'll be glad to pull those up. But if you take out the elementary, just to give you a different distribution, right there are secondary kids. So one thing I thought was interesting is there are still, if you go out to those, I was showing the ambassadors this yesterday, so get back here in our district. If you go back to like some of our more established neighborhoods, like right here you have, that's Fiddler's Green, and you can see that those are the households. The Pendle Hills on right here, Fiddler's Green's right here, but you can see there aren't a lot of houses out there with kids in some of our established neighborhoods. Same with Hickory Hills East, and Hickory Hills had more, but if you look at regular Hickory Hills, there's only 4 houses out there that have high school or middle school, secondary kids. If in that district, so that would be Pendleton. So if I put that in there, you can put, but it didn't really add a whole bunch. And so unless people sell in those houses, we're not going to have a lot of kids out there in a few years. So we've been talking about trying to color code them by grade, because I'd be curious about what grades they are too. Right now, we just know they're in high school, but I'd like to know, are those seniors, or those, because that'd give you in another year, there may be not any high school kids out there. We don't know. But again, you look at that, and then you look over here at, you go up here to Carrick Glen, and that's, all the elementary kids that are in Carrick Glen, which is one of our newest additions up there on North Pendleton Avenue. So much more dense, and then you go out here to the west, and we can look at these. I know we looked at these before. So this is Hunter's Run. There's just a handful of kids in there. This is Jefferson Place. This is, down here is Foster's Ridge and Foster's Ridge Branch. So even if you ever got to the point where you were gonna consider redistricting that, like, that's not gonna really move the needle, because you got about 6 houses in there with kids, so, so anyways, but then you go further west, and you get out here by, so that's the high school and middle school. That does not have Maple Ridge in it. But what's interesting is when I was talking about, so Pendleton, you can see when I take off the blue are the Pendleton Elementary kids that live in Summer Lake. Because of that in-district transfer, as I said, they've chosen to go in there for whatever reason. I don't know. But if you put Maple Ridge on that, like there's where Maple Ridge is at. So that's Summer Lake, that's Springport, Springbrook, right below it. And so that, you can see the density out there. There are still a lot of houses out there with a lot of kids. And then the same thing down by Prairie Hollow. If I can get down there, you see that there's Fortville. I passed it. So there you can see that's Prairie Hollow right there. And it's really dense too with I mean, that almost looks like almost every other house has got I don't even know if I can zoom in tight enough to see that it's really pretty dense down there with kids, so.
What about Maple Trails? Are they dense?
We can go up there and look. I don't think like that, but I also don't think, part of that is that Prairie Hollow's been there longer than Maple Trails, and so those families that are out at Maple Trails may not have school-age kids yet, so.
What about the apartment complex by McDonald's? What's it look like?
I'll pull up just a second. Let me try to figure out where Maple Trails is at. There it is. So there's Maple Trails right there, but you can see some of it on this map. The houses don't, I mean, there are places where there's not even a house built yet because the Google Maps not been updated. But you can see that that's Maple Ridge High School and Middle School. But you can see where there are established houses. It's fairly dense in some parts of it, especially down there to the south. And I don't know.
About the apartment
Yeah,
complex by
I don't think I looked at that. I'll look, but I don't think it's that dense, but I'll pull it up because I was curious about that too.
Well, I was only asking because I was wondering what we might anticipate.
Right.
With the new apartment.
Yeah, that's why I looked at it. That's why I was looking too. So it's right there. That's it.
That's,
Wow.
and you have Pendleton Elementary on?
No. There it is.
Still not.
I'll turn them all on because there could be somebody from, there's an east in there too. So that's how many people that are in there. So no, there aren't a lot. But these back here, I thought, I was under the understanding these are like almost like retirement homes to the, I don't know, the house parts.
Right.
Like, I don't know if that's true or not, but, yeah. But any place else you want to look at?
Go to Adams Township.
Well, we were, yeah, we look, but the thing that's interesting about Adams Township is that there's a lot out there. They're just really
Sparse.
really spread out because, I mean, there's just not you don't have a really, or any type of neighborhood. Now, I think I just messed up the boundaries, so. I didn't mean to grab that. There's Wilkinson. There we go. So there's,
More there than I thought.
yeah. Yeah, so if I take off, I'm surprised there wasn't any Maple Ridge really out there.
Well,
Take off the Pendleton, so you can see the east kids in the high school, but,
More than I thought.
yeah. Yeah. But if you look at, the other thing that's interesting about that though, and what I was saying before, if you look at east goes up there, way up there. And there's a lot of orange.
Fire.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's
Holy cow, you're clear up North Anderson.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of orange up there. So, well, you've got them all the way up there. Wow. So,
Don't we have a kid from Indy? Is that what you?
yeah. There's a kid down there. We have a kid with it.
Alexandria.
I can zoom.
Teachers, student.
One's
It-
clear by
Somerville.
Look,
It could be.
how far
goodness.
south?
Yeah. Yeah, you've got them in Somerville. Well, I don't have them all on yet. I've turned some of them off. So let me. There you go.
Guess
Yeah,
Newcastle's
you've got them all the
25.
way up in Rorton. We have kids in Rorton that come down here. I would assume that's probably an employee's kid.
The
I
other
don't know.
side of Muncie.
I don't know who that is.
How would you get your child to school from
If you were a teacher and it was your child.
there? True. That makes sense.
But it's pretty interesting because they are pretty far down. I mean, like we said before, we've got them down here in Cumberland. We got them over in Keystone.
Keystone the Crossing. That's not a fun drive.
Not right now, for sure. So we'll continue to update it. We'll try to, and we'll update it again next year probably as we get closer. But I think we're just using this because it's really, I think it helps visualize the fact that these new additions are why we need new additions, not rapid fire growth, but we got to have them because the old additions don't have kids in them.
The D.R. Horton edition that's going to be by Foster's Ridge, Foster's Branch, that'll be Pendleton Elementary, correct?
Probably.
Currently.
Currently, it would be Maple Ridge.
Oh, okay, okay. But
More than likely,
More than
that's something we're
likely,
going to
it'll
have
make
to
more
do.
sense.
Yeah. That will be something we're going to have to look at for sure. Because it would be right, it'd be right here.
right there.
Yeah.
Because these are all Maple Ridge.
But that would be something we would, it would be a done deal before they started even finishing homes there.
And they're supposed to start on that this summer.
Are they?
But I'm assuming that that's going to take a minute because when they said that they're going to have to do earthwork and roads and such. So it's going to take a minute probably before you'll see that. So, anybody have any questions about that? So I just want to try to keep you in the loop because I know it's one of the hot topics always people are asking us about. So.
Especially redistricting.
All right, that is all I have.
Okay. That takes care of our. Item number 4 is adjournment of the work session. I'd entertain a motion for adjournment.
I make a motion, we adjourn the work session at this time.
I will second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Penny?
Amy Brown,
Yes.
Bud Evans,
Yes.
Kevin Gizzard,
Yes.
Mike Gannon,
Yes.
John Boyd.
Yes.